Hello everyone, welcome to the class. So we are live. Let's begin with the session. So सबसे पहले कुछ updates देखते हैं और फिर आज का passage of the day solve करते हैं. So all of you on the screen आप देख सकते हो Freedom Festival. So you can unleash your potential, everyone. You can get 30% of discounts and 1 month of free extension on all your Unacademy CLAT iconic subscriptions. तो अगर आप Unacademy का iconic subscription लेते हो तो आपको 30% का डिस्काउंट एंड 1 मंथ का एक्सटेंशन मिल जाएगा. आप यहाँ पे डिफरेंट मंथ्स के सब्सक्रिप्शंस को गो थ्रू कर सकते हैं एंड इस ऑफर को अवेल करने के लिए आप यूज कर सकते हैं मेरा रेफरल कोड कृति लाइव 10. नाउ फर्दर ऑन आगे चलते हैं तो इसी तरह के बेनिफिट्स आपको प्लस सब्सक्रिप्शन पर भी मिलेंगे, जैसे 20% ऑफ and 1 month free extension on your plus subscriptions. As you guys know that CLAT is just around the corner, so it's very important that you focus upon your preparation, you start your preparation, and to avail all these benefits, all of you, to avail all these offers, you can use my referral code KritiLife10. Both the offers are valid till 12th of August, so make sure कि आप 12th of August से पहले इन offers को avail कर लें. अगर हम आगे चलते हैं कुछ और पॉइंटर्स के बारे में बात करते हैं, तो ऑल इंडिया क्लैट मॉक टेस्ट ऑफ 2024 पैक ऑफ 35 इज हियर ऑन द स्क्रीन. यहाँ पे आप देख सकते हो एक क्यूआर कोड. इस क्यूआर कोड को स्कैन कर सकते हो और स्कैन करके अवेल कर सकते हो ये पैक ऑफ 35 मॉक at rupees this. Again, you can use my referral code for further discounts. Hello Radhe Krishna, how are you? I hope you guys are doing well and your preparation is going awesome. So guys, इसके साथ ही हम आगे चलते हैं क्लैट प्रिंटेड मॉक टेस्ट पे. तो अगर आप कोई भी आइकॉनिक सब्सक्रिप्शंस लेते हो या 12 मंथ्स एंड अबव का प्लस सब्सक्रिप्शन लेते हो तो आपको क्लैट के प्रिंटेड मॉक टेस्ट मिल जाएंगे. 10 सेक्शनल्स, 10 फुल लेंथ मॉक वुड बी डिलीवर्ड ऑन योर डोर स्टेप और ये मॉक रहने वाले हैं न्यू पैटर्न पे. गाइज इसके अलावा अगर आप ऑफलाइन मॉक टेस्ट देना चाहते हो तो आप अनअकैडमी के दिल्ली सेंटर या पुणे सेंटर जा सकते हो और वहां पे ऑफलाइन मॉक टेस्ट दे सकते हो. इफ यू लिव अराउंड दिल्ली और पुणे आप जाके जरूर दो ऑन 27th अगस्त, 10th ऑफ सितंबर, 24th ऑफ सितंबर. बहुत जल्दी और सेंटर्स में भी इस तरह से मॉक होने लग जाएंगे. सो ऑल ऑफ यू, ऑफलाइन क्लैट मॉक है, बिल्कुल आपको एक एक्चुअल एग्जाम का फील देगा. वहां बैठ के क्वेश्चन पेपर मिलेगा, सॉल्व करोगे एंड डिटेल्ड एनालिसिस भी आपको मिलेगा. Then everybody, we have this Warriors batch recently starting from 10th of August. All of you, CLAT, ALET, SCD, SLAT, LSAT के लिए है. This is my referral code जो आप use कर सकते हो इस batch में enroll होने के लिए. ठीक है, and you can also see the educators who are teaching you. ये तो हो गए हमारे सारे updates. Now let's begin with the class. क्लास शुरू करने से पहले प्लस और आइकॉनिक के कुछ डिफरेंसेस देख लेते हैं. सो सबसे पहले तो आपको डेली लाइव क्लासेस, स्ट्रक्चर्ड क्विजेज, ई नोट्स का एक्सेस मिल जाएगा अगर आप प्लस सब्सक्राइबर हो. और अगर आप आइकॉनिक सब्सक्राइबर हो तो प्लस के सारे बेनिफिट्स plus added benefits like mentorship, physical notes, offline mock test at Unacademy centers, ये भी benefits आपके पास होंगे. Now everybody, let's start with the class. So all of you, we have this passage on the screen. Read it quickly. It is in the 2 slides. So यहाँ पे 3 paragraphs हैं इस passage में. I want you guys to read it and then हम इस पर करते हैं discussion and questions. चलो, let's begin. I'll give you a few minutes to read the passage. Okay guys, next slide. Let's read this one as well. Okay, all of you, I hope you are done reading the passage. I'll give you 30 seconds and then we'll have a quick discussion. Okay, all of you. So now that you are done reading, can you tell me what this passage is actually about? So is it about insects' olfactory systems, or is it about the differences between the olfactory systems of dog and insects, or it is about the detection mechanism which can be used, which can be practiced in near future? So whenever we read a passage, it's very important that we understand what the main idea is, what author wants to convey, because once we understand the actual crux of the passage or the actual theme of the passage, it becomes really easy for us to understand the questions. Now if we go through the questions, all of you, okay, so this is the first question on the screen. The question is on inference. Which of the statements can be inferred from the passage? If we check another question, which of the following describes the primary purpose of the passage? Next question, all of you. Again, the inference question. Inference is specifically about one statement this time. It can be inferred from the passage. There is something about dogs. Okay, then we go back to the question again. Next questions. Attitude of the author and ordering binding protein का role क्या होता है? So these are the major questions that has been asked. So you can see all the majority questions जो आपसे यहाँ पे इस passage में पूछे गए हैं वो inference related questions. And now you should know some terms also, like कुछ आपसे dogs के बारे में पूछा गया है, ठीक है? So about the dogs, it was written in the first paragraph. Then कुछ binding protein के बारे में पूछा गया है, that was like protein and bit biological side of insects in their system was given in the second paragraph. ठीक है? Apart from that, the third paragraph was how we can use insects in this detection mechanism. So let's understand what the passage is all about. So if we check the first paragraph, author starts with dogs. He gives us an idea ki how dogs are widely applied as biological detection systems to detect smuggling and storage of drugs. Yet, so the word yet is used then. So yet means we are going to understand, we are going to read some contradiction over here. The recent evidence suggests insects rather than mammals may be used more effectively. So here author gives his opinion. Okay, so dogs are widely used as of now, but now insects can be used more effectively in the capacity. There is one disadvantage or disadvantages of dogs, that they usually get bored and they lose interest. Apart from that, there is another problem which author I highlighted, that dogs usually get emotional, like dogs usually the other problems are related to the emotional relationship with the dog and its owner. So again, emotional relationship is another problem. So insects on the other hand, they are free of emotional attachments. That's why they can be they can be used as a biological detection mechanism in a much better way, and they're more effective when compared from mammals. So that's what is written in the first paragraph. First paragraph also makes the basis of whole passage. Then author goes on to explain how olfactory system of insects work, which is your whole second para. And when we come to the third paragraph, all of you, okay, so author gives you an idea about the technique which was first invented in 1950s. So this technique of using the insects, their olfactory nerves, was actually first time enabled by researchers in around 1950s. And finally, author says that the recent development in this direction suggests that detection mechanism of insects is likely to be applied in practice in near future. So we are not currently practicing the detection mechanism of insects, but maybe we can use it in near future. So that is all your passage about, guys. So let's check the question number 1. Which of the following statement can be most reasonably inferred from the passage? So what is inference, all of you? Inference is something what you understand from the passage. Inference is always true according to the passage. So remember, whenever you find the answer for inference, always try to eliminate the extreme answer choices. Always try to eliminate the answer choices which are not present in the passage, which are out of scope or irrelevant, according to the conclusion of the passage. जो irrelevant है उनको हमें eliminate करना है, and we have to find something which is strictly from the passage, which can be derived from the passage. So all of you, that's your first question. There are 5 options. I'll highlight them and chalo, let's solve it. Write down your answers in the comment section. Okay, all of you, now let's eliminate the answer choices क्योंकि हम कर रहे हैं यहाँ पे एक inference का question. First option, some police departments have already tested using insects to detect smuggling, but recently in the passage हमने पढ़ा था कि they may use it in future, they may practice this in future. So that means they're not using it presently. They are not using it presently. So hence option number A is not correct according to the passage. It is false according to the passage. A is wrong. Option number B. The use of dogs to detect smuggling date back to 19th century. Since when are we using dogs is not mentioned. About dogs, it was written in the first para. But since when we are using these dogs is not mentioned in the passage. Again, it's false according to the passage. Something which is out of scope. So we can say both option number A and B are out of scope. Option number C. Detection of signals sent by the receptors to central nervous system is easier in insects. Yes, author did discuss about the detection of signals both in mammals and insects, but author never compared them. Where this detection of signals is easier? Is it easier in insects or is it easier in mammals? Now, this comparison was not given. Hence, option number C is again out of scope. C feels like a very prominent answer, all of you, but it's not the correct answer because the comparison between detection of signals between insects and mammals is not given to you. Hence, C is wrong. Option number D. The first half of 20th century, guys, remember the 19th century, okay? Now, this is actually called the 20th century. जो आपको लगता है ना 1900 से 1999, that's not 19th century, that's actually 20th century. तो ये जो 20th century है, the first half of 20th century, there was no reliable method of recording activity in insects of olfactory nerves, identifying compounds that trigger the behavioral response. If we go back to the last paragraph, we can see since 1950 first method was enabled. That means before 1950, like 1950 is the year in 20th century. So before 1950, there is no asset system enabled. There is no first method enabled before 1950. That means first half of 20th century में कोई भी ऐसा system enable नहीं हुआ था. While 1950 और उसके बाद में ये system पहली बार enable हुआ है, which makes option number C the correct answer. Okay. So why is C correct? Because फर्स्ट सिस्टम डिटेक्ट हुआ था सेकेंड हाफ ऑफ 20th सेंचुरी में, यानी फर्स्ट हाफ ऑफ 20th सेंचुरी में कोई भी रिलायबल मेथड टू मेजर द एक्टिविटी ऑफ इंसेक्ट्स ऑल्फैक्टरी नर्व्स डिटेक्ट हमने नहीं किया था. हेंस ऑप्शन नंबर डी जो है वो सही होना चाहिए. बट लेट्स आल्सो एलिमिनेट ऑप्शन नंबर ई. The position of insects' olfactory organs on its body varies between flying insects and crawling insects. Again, something which is not in the passage. There is no difference given between flying insects and crawling insects. That's why E is also false according to the passage. Hence, correct answer option number D hai. Okay, all of you, is it clear? A little tricky question, but next one is definitely easy. So everybody read this. Which of the following most accurately describes the primary purpose of the passage? What's the purpose? Like, what is the intention of author to write the passage? What is something that author wants to convey? Okay, that is called primary purpose. So let's find the answer for the question. Okay, any answer for the question, all of you? Let's try to eliminate the answer choices. Option number A. To advocate a wider use of biological detection mechanisms of dogs and other mammals. No, actually, what does author wants to portray? In the first paragraph, author has mentioned that dogs are widely used, but then author says that insects are better. Okay, we can use insects because they are not emotionally attached to their owners. They do not have such emotional functions. So that's why A, to advocate the wider use of other mammals in dogs. Now that's wrong, all of you. That's not the purpose. That's not something which author wants to highlight. Option number B, to describe the possible disadvantages involved in the use of biological detection mechanism. Now, author is not exactly discussing about, yes, he has discussed about a little disadvantage in the first para, but in the second and the third para, and in fact in the first paragraph also, he is actually discussing about the benefits of insects, why we can use why we can use insects as a detection mechanism. So we are not exactly discussing about the disadvantages of mammals or dogs. We are highlighting the benefits of insects here in the detection mechanism. That's why B is again wrong answer choice. Option number E, to discuss the methods used by biologists to explore the insect's olfactory organs. There is no as such method discussed, hence E is wrong. Option number D, to discuss the process used by insects to detect odors. Now, what insects biological system is, we did discuss it in second paragraph, but that's just the part of the passage. That's not the whole highlight. And again, how insects detect odors was not specifically discussed here. Olfactory functions discuss हुए थे, पर odors को कैसे detect करते हैं, smell को कैसे detect करते हैं, ये discuss नहीं हुआ था. Hence D is wrong again. So which means option number C must be correct. But let's see why is it correct. To describe biological detection mechanism of insects, तो हमें insects का biological detection mechanism समझना है and suggest that they may provide a viable alternative to mammals. So they would be a good alternative. We can use them in future. We can practice this detection mechanism of insects in future. This is what author has written in the passage. Hence option number C is the correct answer. Chalo, next question, all of you. It can be inferred from the passage that dogs could be used more effectively in detecting drugs if which of the following were true. Find out the answer. Okay, all of you, should we discuss it? So why dogs को हम effectively कब use कर सकते हैं? So कुछ problems author ने highlight किए थे while using mammals. That is the emotional attachment with people. Okay, they get bored oftenly. So option number A, they could last without food for longer periods of time. So nothing of this sort was discussed. Wrong. They could visually recognize drugs. Now visually recognition से ज़्यादा olfactory functions की discussion कर रहे थे. So B भी गलत हो जाता है. They could not only smell but also taste the drug. Guys, taste का कोई भी बात passage में discuss नहीं हुआ था, गलत हो गया. They could use finger-like protuberances for detecting odors. Now they have their nose to do that, so they don't need any finger-like something which is in the insect. So hence this is wrong. Option number E was specifically mentioned in the first paragraph that dogs usually develop emotional relationship with their owners that limit their advantages. Okay, so that's why option number A, if they do not develop any emotional relationship with people, then they are much more effective. Hence option number E is the correct answer. Okay, next question, all of you, is this one, author's attitude. So which of the following best describes the author's attitude towards the prospect of using insects biological detection system in practice? Author का attitude क्या है detection system के बारे में? Author क्या सोचता है? This is what you have to find, all of you. चलो, find the answer. Okay, should we discuss the question? Author का attitude क्या है? Mildly pessimistic is when you feel कि कुछ गलती होगा, सब गलती होने वाला है, सब wrong होने वाला है, जो भी outcome होने वाला है वो बहुत खराब है. That's being pessimistic. So is author pessimistic? Is author saying that ये जो insects का detection system है ये work नहीं करेगा? क्या author ऐसी बात कर रहे थे passage में? नहीं कर रहे थे. So option number E correct answer नहीं हो सकता. He is largely uninterested, but if we see, author is comparing insects with mammals. Author is actually understanding how this olfactory system of insects work. Author also says कि अभी future में इसको हम use कर सकते हैं. This may potentially be an alternative to mammals. So this is what author is talking about. Then how can we say that he is largely uninterested? He is not uninterested. So this is wrong. He is doubtful. No, he is not doubtful. He is hopeful that in future we can use it in a practice. We can use this detection system in practice very soon. So we may start using insects. So that's why he's not highly doubtful. He's not even neutral. He's positive about the detection system of insects. Then we have this option number A, moderately optimistic. That means he's little hopeful for future. So obviously for this system, he is hopeful. Hence option number A is the correct answer. Now we have the last question from the passage, the fifth question, all of you. So read it, find the answer, and then we'll have a discussion. Now for this, you may have to go back to the passage. This is a factual question where you have to find the answer to the question, which of the following roles is played by odorant binding protein. So if you read questions before you read the passage, you can understand these terminologies. Like binding protein के बारे में एक question आया था. So when you are reading about this odorant binding protein, make sure to read it or make sure to underline it so that when you find the answer for the question, it becomes easier for you. Okay, so if there was a question about some emotional connectivity with mammals, so you should know emotional attachments के बारे में पूछा गया था. So read the questions and then find the answers. It become little easier for us because हम उस केस में blind reading नहीं करते हैं. तो अभी फिलहाल आप यहाँ पे second para एक बार read कर लो और फिर हम उस question को करेंगे. So about this odorant binding protein, it's written over here. Okay, so outer cuticle of syncytium and becomes attached to the protein. This protein carries hydrophobic ligand through lymph fluid found inside the cell and attaches to the receptor on dendritic projections of sensory nerve cell. Okay, so easy detection के लिए हम इस protein को use करते हैं. Let's check the last question, all of you. Okay, so we have this question on the screen. Let's find the answer. So it sends signals to the central nervous system? No. It passes through pores of outer cuticle? No. It picks up the signal from olfactory sensilla? Not discussed. Orders via fingers? Something not discussed. So option number B. It carries hydrophobic ligand through lymph fluid, attaches to the receptor. A direct answer from the question, from the passage. Hence option number B is the correct answer. Now we are done with the passage, all of you. Okay, so I hope you understood this passage. The passage is little tricky, okay, especially the options. So to understand the passage is not very difficult. If you check, it's not very difficult to understand the passage, but overall to find the answers was little tricky. I would ask you guys to make sure to solve the passage again. If you have solved it once, कुछ दिन बाद इसे दोबारा solve करो. जो भी logic मैंने तुम्हें बताया है, जो भी हमने समझा है, उसको दोबारा से समझने की कोशिश करना. And whenever you're solving questions on critical reasoning, make sure to read the explanations also. आपके जो भी explanations होते हैं, चाहे आपका answer correct हो या wrong हो, read the explanations. And why should you read the explanations even if you get the right answers? Just to check your logic. तो आपको अपने logic को check करना है. तो आप अपने logic को कब check कर पाओगे? जब आप explanations पढ़ोगे. ठीक है? Check your logic, all of you. ठीक है, read the explanations, make sure to practice a lot of questions. And that's all about today. Bye guys, take care, have a nice day.